Chosen ones, there is a reason you're here. The path doesn't open by chance. It opens the moment your spirit is ready to step forward. That readiness is not written in the stars or carved in destiny. It is born inside you, a quiet shift, a deeper breath, a decision you didn't speak but felt. In Shaolin, strength was never about performance. The monks who trained day and night were not preparing to display power. They were shaping presence. Every strike, every stance was a dialogue with themselves. The world saw fists and forms. What they were really building was silence that could not be shaken. This is the essence of readiness. It is not loud, it does not announce itself. It stirs like a ripple beneath the surface, where intention and focus come into alignment. When this alignment takes root, you begin to move differently. You speak with restraint, you breathe with awareness, and this is where true power begins, not in the body, but in the inner command that governs it. Today, you will learn what the Shaolin path reveals about mastery. We will uncover why discipline is not punishment but freedom, why silence is not emptiness but strength, and why August 30th may feel like just another day, but in truth, it holds the seed of transformation if you are ready to see it. Stay until the end, because what begins as knowledge will settle into something deeper, understanding that cannot be unlearned. This is the step beyond waiting, beyond distraction. This is the doorway to sovereignty. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. If these words stir something in you, let this be the start of practice. Subscribe and walk this path with us. The mind is like a restless monkey, leaping from branch to branch. Most people spend their lives being carried by these leaps, never stopping to ask, where is my attention right now? This is where the path of self-mastery begins. Not with control over others, not with strength that overpowers, but with the quiet discipline of noticing. When I was young in the temple, I thought training was only about the body. Endless stances, long hours of repetition, aching muscles. But the masters would say, your legs may grow strong, but if your mind is scattered, you are still weak. At first, I did not understand. Only later did I see that the real training was in attention. Each movement was a mirror. Was I present or was I drifting? To turn sight inward is not easy. The eyes are trained to chase the outside world, things, people, distractions. To redirect them inward feels unnatural at first, as if you are asking water to flow uphill. Yet slowly through breath and silence, the shift begins. You notice the small stirrings, the impatience in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, the way a thought pulls you into stories that are not real. Attention is power. Where it goes, your life goes. If it is scattered, your energy is drained before it can build. But when it is gathered, like sunlight through a lens, it becomes fire. In Shaolin, we call this inner fire the beginning of true strength. It is not given from outside. It is chosen again and again, each moment you return your focus. This is why self-mastery does not begin in the fists or the body. It begins in the unseen, in the decision to notice, to turn inward, and to reclaim the seat of your own mind. There is a morning in every journey when the body feels heavy, when the mind whispers excuses and the heart seeks comfort instead of practice. This is the moment most people turn back. They wait for inspiration, for the right feeling, for the spark to carry them forward. But the ancients knew that waiting is a trap. The spark is not the master, it is the servant. Discipline is different. Discipline walks into the cold before dawn and ties its shoes anyway. Discipline bows to the mat when no one is watching. Discipline sharpens the blade even when the battle is far away. It is not ruled by moods, by the rise and fall of desire. It does not wait for permission from feeling. Some believe this sounds like chains, but in truth, it is the breaking of them. When you no longer rely on motivation, you are free. You are not carried away by passing winds. You move because you have chosen, and nothing can take that choice from you. The old masters taught that water carves mountains not by bursts of force, but by steady persistence. One drop after another, day after day. The stone cannot resist it. In the same way, each small act of discipline shapes a life. It may not look grand in the moment, but over time it bends the course of destiny. To live this way is to know freedom in its truest form, not the freedom of doing whatever the moment demands, but the freedom of being unshaken, of carrying purpose even through resistance. This is the freedom of self-mastery, the kind that no outer circumstance can give or take away. In the temple courtyards, training begins before the sun has risen. The air is still, the world quiet. A monk takes his stance, and to the untrained eye, it looks like nothing more than exercise, kicks, punches, long holds. But beneath each motion is a thread of awareness. The body moves, yet the mind does not wander. Breath flows in harmony with intention. This is where practice becomes more than movement. Shaolin teaches that the body is not separate from the spirit. To strike without awareness is empty. To hold a posture without presence is wasted effort. Every gesture, whether a raised fist, a grounded stance, or the simple act of standing still, is a mirror. It reflects the mind. If the mind is scattered, the movement will be weak. If the mind is centered, even the smallest motion carries power. The old masters would say, a kick is not just a kick. It is patience, balance, breath, and focus woven together. The outward form is only the shell. The true practice is inside. Through this fusion, clarity is born. You begin to see your own distractions, your own patterns. With each repetition, you are not only shaping muscle, you are refining awareness. This is why training was never meant to end in the courtyard. The same awareness brought into daily movement, walking, eating, working, transforms ordinary acts into practice. Martial discipline is a reminder clarity is not found by sitting apart from life, but by stepping fully into it. Every gesture holds meaning because it teaches presence, and when presence is trained into the body, it becomes natural to the spirit. Movement and awareness become one, and life itself turns into practice. Philosophy on paper can be studied, repeated, even debated. But within Shaolin, wisdom is not meant to sit only in the mind. It is meant to be lived, breathed, and carried in the body. A single stance reveals more than pages of explanation. The way the legs root into the earth, the way the spine stretches upward, the way the breath steadies. This is philosophy in motion. When a monk holds a posture, the lesson is not spoken, it is felt. The trembling of muscles teaches endurance. The rhythm of breath teaches patience. The release of tension teaches surrender. These are not abstract ideas but truths that settle into bone and blood. The ancients understood that the body remembers what the mind forgets. A principle recited may fade with time, but a lesson learned through sweat becomes unshakable. The act of moving with awareness inscribes discipline into the body. It becomes instinct, no longer something you think about, but something you embody. Shaolin Kung Fu is not only defense or performance, it is philosophy translated into gesture. To bow is to honor humility. To strike with precision is to honor focus. To flow between hardness and softness is to honor balance. Every motion is both physical and spiritual, both practice and teaching. In this way, the body itself becomes a scripture. Each session of training writes a line, each breath adds a verse. Over years, the movements become a language of wisdom, spoken without words, and in that language the practitioner learns that mastery is not an idea to be grasped, but a way of being carried in every gesture, every breath, every step. In the old Shaolin halls, young students were reminded that strength without virtue was dangerous. To train the body without training the heart was to sharpen a sword without knowing when or why to draw it. Power alone was never the goal. True mastery required something deeper, the cultivation of martial virtue. Humility came first. A student might defeat 10 opponents in the courtyard, yet still bow before the teacher, before the ancestors, before the path itself. This bowing was not performance. It was a reminder that strength is borrowed, never owned. Respect followed. Not only respect for teachers or elders, but respect for the body, for time, for silence, even for the opponent who stood across the floor. Each was seen as part of the training. To lack respect was to miss the essence of the art. Righteousness was the courage to act with integrity, even when no one was watching. It meant refusing to misuse skill, even when provoked. It meant choosing the path of restraint, knowing that sometimes the greatest strike is the one never thrown. In loyalty, this was not blind obedience, but steadfastness. Loyalty to the discipline itself, to the daily return to practice, to the inner vow of growth. Without loyalty, the mind drifts, the path breaks, and the training dissolves into scattered effort. The masters often said that muscle may win a fight, but virtue wins a life. Martial virtue gave direction to strength, purpose to discipline, meaning to every hour of practice. It ensured that mastery was not about domination, but about harmony within oneself and with the world. This is why in Shaolin tradition, the greatest warrior was always the one who carried both strength and virtue as one. Balance is often mistaken for stillness, as if harmony means sitting apart from life, untouched by its noise. But Shaolin teaches something different. Balance is not escape. It is not closing the eyes to the storm. It is learning to steady the breath, to quiet the mind, until the storm no longer rules you. In the training halls, balance is tested in every stance. One leg rooted, the other lifted. Arms stretched wide, body held still. The muscles shake, the mind resists. Yet through that trembling, a lesson reveals itself. Balance is not found by freezing, but by adjusting. The body makes 1,000 small corrections. Ankle, hip, spine, breath, until stability is created from within. This is how life works. The world will always sway, loss, change, uncertainty. To seek balance outside is to chase what cannot last. But when balance is cultivated inside, the outer world reflects it. The warrior who steadies his own heart can walk into chaos without being consumed by it. Harmony then is practice. Each day is an opportunity to tune the instrument of body and mind. Some days it is easy, others demand more patience. Yet the work continues, not to escape the world, but to engage it fully. The more you refine this practice, the less you are thrown off course by noise or conflict. The old masters said, water is balanced, not because it resists, but because it adapts. It flows, it bends, it carries strength through softness. In the same way, true balance is alive. It moves, it breathes, it responds. This is the harmony Shaolin points toward, not passive peace, but active alignment between the inner self and the outer life. There is a danger hidden in long practice. At first, every movement feels alive. Each stance is a discovery, each breath a reminder of something new. But with time, repetition can harden into habit. The body moves, but the mind drifts. The form is correct, yet the spirit grows dull. This is why the old teachings remind us, even after years of training, return to each moment as if it were the first. A beginner's mind is not about ignorance, it is about openness. The child who first steps onto the training floor is wide-eyed, curious, attentive to every detail. That same quality must remain, even in the elder who has walked the path for decades. Without it, the practice becomes empty ritual, and wisdom slips away. In the temple there was a saying, the stale breath carries no life. To breathe without awareness is to breathe without power. But when each breath is met as new, it restores freshness to the body, clarity to the mind. The same principle extends to all things, the strike, the bow, the silence between movements. Each can either be automatic or it can be alive. Discipline, then, is not only about persistence, it is about presence within persistence. To train every day without falling asleep inside the movement. To remain awake, curious, willing to see what has not yet been seen. The ancients compared this to water touching stone. The water does not ask, have I passed here before? It simply flows as if for the first time. In this way, even repetition becomes renewal. Each stance, each breath, each step on the path carries the possibility of discovery, if only the mind remains open enough to receive it. The mountain is always larger than it first appears. From a distance, it stirs awe and fear. Up close, it overwhelms. This is how great goals feel. The mind races ahead, imagining the summit, and in that very thought, the weight of the journey becomes unbearable. Many give up before they take the first step, paralyzed by the size of the climb. But the wisdom of the ancients was simple. No peak is scaled in one stride. progress is built through small, deliberate steps, tiny actions that seem insignificant on their own, yet together carve the path upward. This is the medicine for procrastination. Not to wait for the perfect moment, nor to dream of finishing, but to commit to one small act here and now. The monks would speak of micro-commitments. Hold a stance for one breath longer. Sweep the floor before training begins. Rise with the sun and drink water before a single word is spoken. Each action may seem minor, yet each carries weight. Over days and weeks, they create momentum, and momentum becomes discipline. Procrastination thrives in the shadow of enormity. It whispers, it's too much, too far, too heavy. But when the task is broken into fragments, its voice fades. A single step is never impossible. And when that step is taken, the next feels lighter, closer, more within reach. Climbers of mountains know this truth. Focus on the next foothold, not the peak. In the same way, those who walk the path of mastery learn to ground themselves in the present action. With enough small commitments, the impossible becomes inevitable. One drop at a time, the jug is filled. One step at a time, even Everest yields to the steady and disciplined. There is a common belief that peace must come from outside, a change in circumstance, a better place, a kinder world. Many wait for someone to arrive with answers, for destiny to turn in their favor, for life to finally hand them happiness. But Shaolin teachings cut through this illusion. No one is coming. Joy, peace, mastery. These are not gifts delivered to the doorstep. They are forged within, through effort and awareness. In the monastery, students learned this early. A master could guide, correct, inspire, but no master could breathe for them. No master could endure the ache of the stance. No master could still the restless mind. That work could only be done by the one who walked the path. The responsibility was personal, and in that responsibility lay freedom. Joy was not a prize, but a practice, found in the rhythm of sweeping the temple floor, in the sound of water boiling for tea, in the long silence of meditation. Peace was not the absence of hardship, but the calm carried through it. And mastery, this was never handed down. It was built, day after day, through discipline that no one else could sustain. The ancients would say, he who waits for rescue remains a prisoner, but the one who takes ownership becomes unshakable, because when your state of being depends on your own practice, no storm can strip it away. This is the essence of Shaolin wisdom. Life does not deliver meaning, it allows you to create it, and in that creation you discover the truth. Every step toward joy, every breath of peace, every glimpse of mastery was never outside your reach. It was waiting for you to claim it from within. The path does not ask for grand gestures. It asks for sincerity in small moments, the way you breathe when the day feels heavy, the way you return your mind when it begins to wander, the way you choose discipline when it would be easier to drift. Readiness is not distant. It is here, in the choice you make now. Remember, mastery is not about chasing perfection. It is about aligning breath with action, intention with presence, and carrying virtue into each step you take. This is how clarity unfolds. This is how balance is born. Take these lessons with you into your daily life. Let your actions, however small, become practice. Let your awareness deepen in ordinary tasks, and let the strength you cultivate within ripple outward into everything you touch. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If these teachings resonate, let them be a part of your journey. Like this video and subscribe to our channel Shaolin Soulfire so that we may continue to share this wisdom together. May your steps be steady, your breath calm, and your spirit free.